Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Telling It Like It Is. My name is Jade Alberts, the founder of Peer Guidance. We are a purpose before profit group that helps entrepreneurs. Sharing knowledge and stories is why we started Telling It Like It Is. It is live. If you have any questions, plop them in the comment section. We will answer them. If you are watching this after the fact, put your questions in there anyways. We do get to them. I am excited that tomorrow we are hosting a Saifedean Amos event, who is the author of the Bitcoin Standard. It is going to be at the Salt Lick. The tickets are available. The link will be in the website or in the comment section shortly. So please check it out. One more day to get your tickets. Come seeing one of the most knowledgeable people in the Bitcoin world that we're flying in for this great event. Speaking of great events, we are going to be talking with Koleya right now, the executive director of the Canadian Blockchain Consortium. How are you today?
Still waking up, having my morning coffee. Doing pretty good.
Well, I've had my morning coffee already, so we're good. I'm coffeeed out, teed out, everything out already.
Oh, I wish.
Oh my goodness! So why don't before we get into it, why don't we just touch base on the Saifedean event here and tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I'm really excited for this one, mainly because Safety Namuth is the author of the Bitcoin Standard, and this is pretty much the book that I would consider like my gateway into the exciting world of economics. And I know to some that might be a boring topic, but to me, it's led me down this incredible rabbit hole for the last 5 years of just trying to understand so much about our monetary system and understanding the value of Bitcoin. And, a lot of the education is also what we bring in through the consortium. So our event today is incredible. He's flying in special for this event, and he's going to be doing a 1-hour talk to about 100 really incredible guests. And then Jeff Booth, who wrote The Price of Tomorrow, is going to be doing a fireside chat interview with him. Once that interview is concluded, we're going to be doing this networking. So lots of great food and drinks, and a really great opportunity for people to meet these two incredible authors and learn more. And our consortium is all about being able to bring the community together. And people, like personally, I bond over food. So I feel that every event I do has to have, an eating component. So this will be really fun. We even have like a poutine station and like a prime rib carving station and like all the appetizers and desserts, because my sweet tooth has to also be satisfied. So really looking forward to this one. And every time, like I've actually flown around the world for some of Saifedean's seminars. So every time I get an opportunity to learn more from him, I just kind of like get giddy like a child.
Oh, I know. I'm excited. I mean, obviously, I read the book a while ago, and for anybody interested, the Eventbrite link is in the comment section. So click on it, and and this is just not one. I mean, we hosted the Alberta Technology Symposium in April. We have the Canadian Blockchain Summit coming up in October. So let's talk a little bit about the Canadian Blockchain Consortium. Obviously, we've been working together in it for about 3.5 years. So we don't need to talk a whole lot, but maybe touch base on why it was created and what the goal is of the consortium.
So a big part of why it was created, when I started looking into the space myself, it was around 2016, before this like big market hype came up back then, one of the bull markets that we've seen. And my aunt and my mom got into something called USI Tech, which was a complete scam. And they were talking about Bitcoin. And I was like really curious. I was like, what was it? What is it? And I started researching, and I realized there was really no safe space where you could go and know that you were getting credible information. Everyone was trying to sell you a scam, sell you a token, sell you an MLM. And around the time where I was getting really into it, a dear friend and mentor of mine, Suzanne West, was coming up with this idea for the Alberta Blockchain Consortium. And I thought, well, what a great space, what a great opportunity. And unfortunately, she passed away before she was able to kind of realize her dream. So I took it on, incorporated as a not-for-profit, because it's all about supporting the ecosystem and community. And it's been pretty much volunteer-led and self-funded for about 4.5 of the years that we've been doing this. So it's all around being able to provide community marketing support, events, networking. We kind of act as a consulate. We do international business development, local business development. We do a lot of really great events. We do research papers. We put together education. Right now we're doing the curriculum program for our Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, which is amazing. We support with business development, commercialization, and adoption of this new and emerging technology, and most importantly, helping people understand, especially if they're looking at the cryptocurrency space, what the legal regulatory implications can be. Because a lot of people, they think about it as a get rich quick scheme, or they don't really understand what crypto is. And so when they have that better understanding from that regulatory legal lens, they can do that due diligence and understand, is this a space they want to participate in, or is this an investment they really want to make, but at least having that foundational support so they don't get wrecked, because I saw a lot of people lose a lot of money in the space.
I mean, that's always the term used, right? The Wild West, and it seems like it always comes back to that. But the one thing that since we've been involved and I've been involved in this is that we've also talked more about that just crypto, right? Rather than Bitcoin or anything else. We've really, diversified into a lot of different industries and a lot of different types of, and I think we should get into that right now, talking about the committees that we have formed and why we form these committees. So why don't you touch base on how it's evolved over the last year or so?
Absolutely. So one of the things that we noticed from the ecosystem is people really want an opportunity to participate at whatever size their company is and not have to do this pay for play, because all the other organizations pay us like 30 grand a year, 40 grand a year, and these outrageous fees to be able to be a part of the ecosystem. We're like, we're not pay for play. We're volunteer run. Like, if people want to buy membership, we appreciate it. It helps us, do our events and the other things that we do. But we formulated these different committees because blockchain is one of those things. It's a tool, it's a widget, and it impacts so many different sides of the space. So one of our committees is our legal committee. We have amazing lawyers there from Dentons and Ostlers and McCarthy's and BLG and many other law firms that support helping people have that understanding of the legal regulatory kind of space from that perspective. Our amazing FinTech committee has been going for 2 years now. They host quarterly roundtables engaging with all of our regulators, with FinTech, IROC, OSIF, Securities Commission, even CRA, and even international securities commissions like Bermuda, Cayman Islands, to help the Securities Commission. Basically, they'll come up with the topics and like what is it that they want to have a better understanding on, because they're putting out the guidance, and then industry experts come together with our regulators and help that understanding. We have a mining committee, because mining is incredible, and especially if they're looking at the province of Alberta, we have an abundance of energy we can sell on the internet. How do we support these companies? How do we share our best practices? How do we make sure that miners are still environmental stewards, and all of these different, like, we have people from all across the country, from Atlantic Canada to British Columbia and all the provinces in between, joining in on all of these committees. We have inclusion committees supported by the Canadian Blockchain Association for women. For we do fundraising and bursary programs to help these ladies get training, educational training, if they're interested in entering into the space. We have an insurance committee, because that is another one that's lacking. Crypto companies have a hard time accessing it. So how do we help insurance providers get that actuarial science that they need to be able to understand what risk profile these companies have, so they can start actually insuring them? We have an access to banking committee co-chaired by Royal Bank, because banking is another thing that companies have a hard time accessing. So bringing in that incredible amount of industry support and talent that can show, hey, look, we are following our regulations. We are regulated. We are making sure that we're compliant. We're making sure that no money laundering happens through our organizations. It's the service providers who support it, the compliance experts, law enforcement is engaged in it. So another really awesome committee. We have our Web3 committee headed up by Lee Ackerman at SAIT. And we have Nate and UBC and other members from hospital foundations or agricultural businesses, energy companies that want to have a better understanding and advocate for what is the metaverse, help you understand it. What is an NFT? Is it applicable? And if you are interested, what are the legal regulatory implications that could come from that? And just helping people have that understanding of the decentralized internet and what that could mean for them. And we have our advocacy committee. We do a lot of support with our government to help them understand and engage, sending them our white papers and any other research papers that we have, meeting with them almost on a weekly basis, depending on what ministry we're talking to, so they understand the supports that are needed for this community to grow and really thrive. So, I mean, we love participation. A lot of our volunteers, they're not paying members, but they love being able to lend their voice. And we really are, that organization that supports making sure that every voice gets their opportunity to speak, making sure that these companies can be seen as the credible organizations that they are, and really helping put Canada on the map for what we're doing in the space.
And that's what I love about this organization, right? I mean, again, for anybody that wants any more information, just click on the comment section, go to canadablockchain.ca. You'll be able to go there. If you're interested in volunteering, we're always looking for volunteers. But I mean, that's how a lot of these committees get started, right? Lee reached out to us. He's going to be on next week. And we had Matt, right? A lawyer who's been in the crypto industry for like 10 years, coming in and sharing their knowledge. And it's because they're interested in the space, not because they're looking to a profit from it or have a bigger voice or have a bigger platform. They really want to make sure that that whether it be crypto or NFTs or the metaverse or mining or any of these subjects that we cover are regulated and going in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely. Every one of our committees is literally, we have 4 that started this year because like Emma Todd is amazing. She's with MH Blockchain Group, and she's like, I'd really love a mining committee. And how do we support mining? It's like one of those critical topics that we need to cover. And it's like, awesome. She's championed it. She started up that committee. Jennifer Edgar with Foster Park Insurance is like, we need to figure out how we can support these companies. And we're really interested. She's really passionate. So she's formulating that one. James Graham with Guild One is like really passionate. He started ESG One. He's chairing our ESG committee, making sure that, in the blockchain space, there is that environmental social governance component to things. And Alexis Pappas with Canadian Blockchain Association for Women's chairing up our inclusion committee. And none of these are paid positions by any means. Everyone is just really passionate. They want to lend their time. Dina Mainville with CipherTrace and MasterCard, she's chairing up our FinTech committee. I mean, we just have, and Matt Burgoyne with Osler is chairing up our legal. Everyone is just so passionate, so incredible. I love sitting in on all of our committees because I learned so much. Like my knowledge base over the last 5 years of being part of this is just because I get to hear all these different perspectives from all these different amazing industry experts all the time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's one of my favorite parts as well, right? I mean, it's not hard to be smarter than me, but sitting in the group with all of them, I'm just like, I'm just like a big sponge.
I like being the dumbest person in the room. I'm like, oh, there's so much to learn.
And I mean, and I think the credibility of CBC is impressive, right? We have MMP, we have Deloitte, we have KPMG, we have Royal Bank, we have iMining, Kurum's coming on. We have all these industry leaders who are helping us promote and champion and regulate. So how easy is it, or how hard was it to get a lot of these big brands to be partners with us to give us that credibility?
When I first started it, the first thing I did was a blockchain and technology symposium in Edmonton. And my background's been in tech. My day job, which is my full-time job, this is my volunteer position, is designing combustion tech. And I've been doing it since 2009 and commercializing my technology in the aviation space, the construction space, oil and gas space. So I had a lot of, really amazing connections with government and the tech ecosystem and the community from my background. So when I went out and I wanted to do this, it wasn't exactly easy, but our very first board member and corporate member was Royal Bank, because Buffy Lammy attended our event, loved what we were putting on, loved that, we were really focusing on that enterprise level blockchain at the time. We were trying to, get out of the noise of the ICO bubble and boom that was happening and really focus on the tech. And she's like, we can get behind this and support something like this. And we spent 2 years really kind of honing in. We were able to get the senior VP for M&P for Canada to come in, and it was once we had Royal Bank, which was that first big name, other ones were like, okay, I could look at this. And then Janine Moore, she was watching what I was doing and with Deloitte, and she's like, I see your passion, I see where you're going. And we put together this really incredible board of very credible individuals who were supporting the community, who wanted to support the work that we were doing and volunteer for this. And we asked them, could we have your brands? Could we have your credibility? And we promised to make sure that every single company that we add to this organization is going to respect your brand. We're going to make sure that they're not doing illicit things. We're going to make sure that they haven't, issued out illegal securities or any of those things. And because we built up that safety, that trust with those big brands over that 2-year period, they're like, all right, now let's start talking about that cryptocurrency market. And, so it's a bit of a slow go originally. And now we get to talk about all the different conversations because they know that we're going to make sure that we respect their brands, that, we're creating creating credibility for these smaller companies being able to be seen against these massive big brands. And then we're creating value for those large brands because they're basically giving back to the community. Their membership is supporting us to keep our event costs super low or for free. Like our, the event that we're hosting today, we have, it's not costing people for food and drinks and to be able to come together a community and really, connect and enjoy and grow business. So, part of it is supporting their brands. Part of it is them giving back and supporting the community as well, which I really love. And that was a big part of it. It's like your membership fee goes for free meetups. That was the first year. It was $2,500 for every company, and 100% of their money just went so we could give free food and free wine at every one of our monthly meetups, which was really cool.
And my, how have we grown, right? I mean, to the ATS and to now, having the Canadian Blockchain Summit that's coming up in October. So I want to touch base on that, and a lot of the. I hate using the word experts, but a lot of the most knowledgeable people work in those organizations, like Janine. I mean, every time she talks, I just love soaking everything up because she's so knowledgeable, she's so respected, and having her as a board member and having her talk at all of these types of things that we have hosting, and it's not just the MMPs and the Deloittes. It goes down to Phantom Compliance or little companies that can get involved here and share the knowledge that they have being in the trenches and working every day in the industry. So how does the Blockchain Summit allow some of these people to voice their opinions and give them a bigger stage?
And one of the things that I love about our different committees is when it came to the Blockchain Summit, we wanted like everyone to be able to have a voice. And because we have so many amazing participants from all across the country and all these different committees, each committee basically got to, come up with a topic and support picking who's the best people to be able to speak on these different panels. So, our insurance committee has a panel, and our inclusion committee, our legal regulatory, our, fintech, all these different ones. And so companies that are, small and just starting that are participating in the committees all the way up to large, and they love giving each other opportunities to speak. And a lot of times they actually bring people outside of their committee to come and speak as well. National Summit, we're hosting it in Alberta this month, in October, because we really want to showcase like Alberta is the fastest growing like tech province right now in Canada. Next year we'll likely host it in Toronto, but every panelist will be from a different provincial location, which is really exciting. And I'm really looking forward to this one because it's going to showcase like really what Canada has to offer, like the best of the best. Doesn't matter what size your company is, but like if you know your stuff, you're sharing your thought leadership, and people are going to be there to listen.
No, absolutely. And we've seen that, right? Even at the first one that you said that World Bank came to, and then the Technology Symposium and Canadian Blockchain Week evolved into the Blockchain Summit. For anybody wanting more information, the website is in the comment section, so click on it. Our tickets are on sale right now. The early bird are going to be there for another month or so. So sign up, and we don't have a location yet. We're scouting it out. Might be at the Grand again, but who knows? But absolutely check it out. And again, it is the knowledge and the people that are put on the panels is absolutely priceless. And if anybody is doubting that, go to our YouTube page and check out the Alberta Technology Symposium, and you'll see, even out of the 50 some speakers that we had, I believe it was almost 50%. I think it was 44% were female speakers, which is very hard to find.
Yeah, and I just want to really emphasize, like as a woman, I really can't stand when people go like, oh, look at this all-female panel, or you got the position because you had ovaries. It's like we picked the best people, and we didn't just pick, let's make sure that we have the diversity box checked. It's like, let's pick the best people. And there's so many incredible women doing amazing things in this space. And I'm really excited that we did, we almost hit that parity, that 50%. But it's one of those things that we want to showcase there's amazing talent, and not just because we're trying to click a box, but because they're the best possible people to speak on these topics.
Oh, absolutely. Right. I mean, and it is, and it's not only blockchain, it's tech all around, right? That we have this, that we have all this, the knowledge, and whether male or female, again, when you're having everybody on the stage together, again, it's just one big happy family sharing knowledge, and it is priceless.
Oh, absolutely. It's really incredible. And it's such a community. Like what I love about the blockchain community so much is you can get the biggest competitors sitting at the table, dialoguing and talking and like, how do we support the industry as a whole? Like a rising tide really floats all boats. And there really is that narrative in this community. I don't see that, well, I'm not joining your consortium because you already have an exchange there. It's just like, no, the exchanges come together. They talk, like all the virtual asset service providers, the different insurance companies. Like you don't need to, the space is big enough for everyone to play in. And I think that's what makes the community so great. Like we did a impact report from our last event. And I think we had 40% of the people who attended respond, which to me was a pretty good outcome. But what I loved the most was like 85% of the people there said this was some of the best quality speakers. And we only had maybe 2 or 3% of the people responding going I don't feel like I learned much. But 85% was like the quality was incredible. I learned a ton. And the most impactful was the majority of people walked away with 5 to 7 meaningful business connections. So we're not trying to be a collision. We're not trying to be a consensus, but we do target the C-suite, the decision makers, all the people in the room that you're going to bump into, like the 3 to 350 that do attend this event. They're people that you want to meet with that have the opportunity to actually work with you and support growing that business. Instead of trying to meet with 30,000 people at an event, you have no idea where to go. You're paying $5,000 to get access to a VIP lounge and you have no idea who's even going to be in there. This one is just you turn around, you bump into someone with a coffee and it's just hey, what do you do? It's just well, I'm the CEO of yada yada, right? It's that's what I love about it. It's such a good community. And it's we don't have the noise. You don't have to worry about someone trying to shill you a coin when you're at one of our events. You're going to meet with solid companies doing great work, all very, legal and above board and all with great knowledge to share.
No, I couldn't agree more. And again, being part of it, the connections, the collisions that happen there. And again, I mean, I love Inventures and it was great. And I spent 3 days there and we had a lot of panel discussions there as well, but having that tight knit and a close proximity, you're really able to meet the people that you want to meet. And that's pretty much one of the most important things about business.
Yeah.
Never mind blockchain, just business in general.
Yeah. It's how do you grow a community? Well, businesses need to generate revenue, and they generate revenue. They're able to expand. They are able to hire more. We're able to, support the GDP. And for them to be able to do that, they need the right kind of connections. They need those businesses who can collaborate together and work together and grow and expand that customer base, right? The funders, we had funders, we had academics, we had decision makers, we had, business owners. We had a really good gambit of people all together that are yeah, I want to support your business.
No, absolutely. And I do have a few more questions, but one just came in here and it's talking a little bit about the NFT and the metaverse, which is, well, let's just say kind of early on, kind of all over the map. How is the CBC going to try to, work with people that are looking to get into that space?
So when it comes to NFTs, non-fungible tokens, it is the hot topic buzzword, same as the metaverse. If you've been in the blockchain space as long as I have, and even though it's a 12-year industry, I've been in it for 6 to 7 at this point. You see these 3-letter acronym buzzwords kind of hit up every time that there's a bull run, and an NFT is very similar to the ICO boom. When people are interested in it, I generally just tell them, all right, first thing you need to do is get a legal opinion, because a lot of people don't understand, just because it's called an NFT doesn't mean there's securities regulations behind that. And if you are trying to sell a security that's unregistered, there are very negative consequences to it. So I always urge people, get that legal opinion, understand why you're doing it. Also understand that, in the next bull run, it might not be seen in a positive light. ICOs are not seen positively. The companies who put those on, some of them are still struggling, right? So be kind of very mindful of why that you want to do it, what the value of the NFT would have. Is it tied to real world value? Because if it's tied to real world value, there's more of an application for it. From the CBC specifically, we're willing to have the conversations and open up and talk and educate people on it. We will not help you put one together. We will not promote your NFT as especially we won't even allow companies to talk about their NFT unless there's a legal opinion behind it that says it's not a security, or if it is, it's actually approved by the Securities Commission, because we want to create that trust with the people who are, coming in to get our education, that we're not trying to sell them something that, really shouldn't be sold. So we have those conversations, we open up and dialogue kind of like what they are, but most importantly, trying to help people understand, do you really need one? What's the value of it? Just because it's a buzzword, doesn't mean it's applicable to your business. So just making sure people have that. And then when it comes to the metaverse, it is one of those things where they're estimating like multiple billions of dollars of value by 2025 or 2030, something like that. It is that new digital realm people are curious about. So we have companies who are in the metaverse or developing out real estate and land and different things like that in the metaverse, having those conversations, and how that ties in. So it very is educational in that sense, but at the same time, like CBDC currently doesn't have like a presence in the metaverse. It is kind of a bit of a buzz right now. I think only like 24,000 users a day globally are looking at it. So kind of helping people get that understanding of like what it is, what it isn't. Again, does it make sense for your business? Does it not? So really, we're here to talk about it from an educational perspective, but not to shill it or promote it, so to speak.
And again, that's one of the major benefits about the CBC is the education, right? Whether it be on the NFT security side, Matt will give you a little bit of his time if you have any questions, or maybe an introduction to Kerm, right? Or somebody in our organization that will give you that time for you to bounce those questions off to make sure you are making the right decision for your business.
And we do focus very heavily on making sure we connect people. And again, that's not a pay for play thing. We're not here to try and be an intermediary or a middleman. We want to connect people with the right individual. So if you are trying to figure out, like, from a legal perspective, like, what is it? We have a great amount of like legal expertise. If you want to understand the metaverse, we have great companies to educate you on that. Our committees put on different webinars to help have a better understanding there as well. So if there's anyone in our community that you guys are looking to meet, we're happy to make those, connections pretty quickly.
Yeah, and to reach out, please just click on the comment section. The website's in there, canadablockchain.ca. So, Koleya, what's next for the Canadian Blockchain Consortium?
Oh my goodness, what's next? Well, I'm really excited because we did get a good amount of funding from our Alberta government, from Alberta Innovates, to put together a convergence plan. So it's all around how can our organization expand and support the blockchain ecosystem in the province. And we look at it from multiple perspectives. So we support from the fintech side, which is that legal securities, regulatory, virtual asset service provider. We support from the enterprise side, so understanding how the technology or the digital ledger can help you in the agricultural, health tech, supply chain, those different areas. We support in the education side by building out different curriculum programs for groups like Nate. And we also support in the mining side with companies that are, the proof of work miners that are supporting the Bitcoin and Ethereum blockchain. So we have different areas, and we're hosting our industry-led roundtables. And by February of next year, we should have this really incredible plan put together. We'll be presenting it at our, I think, 3rd or 4th annual Alberta Technology Symposium. And that one's going to give us, what I'm really excited about is by the time that we're done this plan, the CBC will be able to say, this is what we're going to be doing, and this is how we feel we'll be able to expand this ecosystem, all the different steps that we're going to be able to take. And ideally, we'll get additional funding from the government to be able to implement this. But I'm excited to see how much we've already expanded the ecosystem in Alberta. When I first started, I don't think anyone across Canada even thought about Alberta for blockchain. And now, everyone's like, God, I got to be in Alberta. Like, this is the place to be. Like, how much more can we expand that in support of our tech community? So I'm excited for that one. And then, of course, all of our big events, our summit coming up, our next symposium. And then ideally, we'll start going even more international. We'll start taking what we do and start promoting our Canadian companies in places like Europe and the UK and Middle East, all over the world.
And we already do have great relationships with some of our friends across Europe and obviously throughout the United States. So it's a process that's already beginning.
Yeah, we've been a part of the British Blockchain Association for a few years now. We work with groups in Latin America, EU, UK. We work with our federal and provincial trade commissions. We have great relationships with multiple groups out in the States. We're actually doing our very first trade mission to Texas for a mining summit that's happening there in November. So I'm excited to see like the expansion of it, because I really think Canada should be like at least top 5 on the map around the world for what we're doing, and from everything from mining to enterprise to the fintech regulatory side in the space.
And there it is, top 5 worldwide.
Yeah, that's our goal.
I like it. That's a good number. I like that number. So no, I mean, and again, I'm just happy to be along for the ride. And I know we have so many great people that support us, and that is, if we're not there already, we're damn close, and we're doing a lot of great things here. And again, anybody that wants to reach out, please click on the website. If you want to volunteer, you want to join a committee, we're open for that. So again, we're here to listen, and we're always looking for passionate people that are willing to help.
Absolutely. And we're almost there with our 50th member. So we're sitting at 45 as of today. So this year we'll actually hit a brand new milestone for us with like 50 members being supported through our organization. So it's really exciting to see that growth too.
Oh, and honestly, we probably have one of the best industry magazines out there, and we haven't even talked about that. I can't believe it. But again, go to our website, click on it. It comes out the first of every month, and it is a fantastic magazine. You know, maybe touch base on it, Koleya.
So one of the things we want to do is we always look every single year, how can we add even more value to our members and more value to the community? And last year, we're like, all right, let's come out with an industry magazine. And we thought this would be a really great way. So we do a bunch of research in the space, whatever the really hot topic is, we come together, put in special industry reports. We put together like a list of really relevant news articles that have come out. We have people who contribute blogs and articles to it. And it's also a great way to find out about whatever events that we're hosting. We post all of our events in there. And one of my favorite parts is at the back of our magazine, it's the only kind of like crypto blockchain based white paper, or white pages, so to speak. So all the different companies, whether they're members or not members, are listed in there based on their individual sections. You can comb through if you're looking for a developer, a legal service, accounting service, whatever you're interested in, you can get the name, the company, the contact information, and we really try to make sure that we connect people as much as possible. So it's a great resource, great way to stay up to date on everything happening with CBC. We're also our members who have special offers and different things like that. They post their advertisements in there. We promote other industry events. So if you are hosting an event and it's kind of in that blockchain related field, please let us know. We're always happy to support the community and get the word out about the work that people are doing.
Always happy to promote the community, and that's what we're about. And that's all we're about. And again, if you want to look at the magazine, the link is in the comment section. So click on it there. And it is a fantastic, well laid out, very educational magazine with articles from our members, from the people. It's not just us promoting. It's member driven, basically.
Oh, absolutely. So it's really exciting.
Absolutely. Well, I'm always sad when our interviews come to an end. And I'm going to change my question a little bit for you, because I want it to be a little more blockchain related. So, I mean, you have an impressive tech background and have created a company from scratch and growing it and scaling it. But if you had one piece of advice for a startup or a business that's looking to get into the blockchain, crypto, metaverse industry, what would it be?
Well, I think this is a really exciting industry to participate in. I think that if I had a piece of advice, if you're looking to get into it, especially if it's going to be in the kind of like cryptocurrency side, reach out to us. Let us learn about your business. Let us be a resource to help you understand if blockchain is applicable, if it makes sense. Let us connect you to the resources that would be able to support you from that legal side to the development side. We have an amazing suite of services that we offer. And again, for free, we'll make those connections to help your business get off the ground. So if I have a piece of advice, reach out to us, because we can help you understand it, as best as we possibly can, and possibly save you some time and heartache, but potentially as well. So that would be mine.
Oh, and that's great advice, right? And I think that is the heart of what the CBC does. It connects, it educates, and it unites, and all for free. So when you're out there, you need the help. You'll get access to the right people, and not just some schmuck off of Google that thinks he knows everything. So,
There's
you
a
know,
lot of those.
right? We want all businesses to be successful and not waste money. We all know what how valuable money is to startups. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, again, Koleya, thank you so much for coming on. You're an inspiration to all of us in our ecosystem, and to myself. And I'm glad that our friendship. It's your second time on, and I'm already looking forward to our next conversation on telling it like it is. I know we're going for lunch today, but that's a whole different thing.
Well, I can't thank you enough. And honestly, the way we met, Jay, he reached out to me on LinkedIn. He's like, "Oh, I want to be a part of this," and I honestly could not even imagine doing this without you. You've been such a great friend, such a great support, such an inspiration. I love what you do in the community, and you're just an all-around amazing human being. So thank you for having me on your show again, and I can't wait to see you for lunch.
Well, thank you for the kind words. It means a lot to me, and I look forward to it. And to everybody, enjoy the rest of your week. And we are going to be on next week with Lee Ackerman, the chair of our Web3 committee. So we will be talking a little bit about that. So enjoy, everybody, and have